What's up guys, this is Rise and welcome to a special video. This one is going to be longer than normal, so sit back, relax, grab a snack, and watch my Sorcerer Cup run in which I do sweep and win this tournament. If you're not familiar with Silph, it's an awesome website where you compete in Pokemon Go PvP tournaments, and there's different themes and different cups every month, and you sort of like the real Pokemon world, you work your way up to try and become an elite trainer. And this is my latest run. These Silph videos generally don't get as many views or attention as Go Battle League, since Go Battle League has a wider audience, but they take longer for me to make, and I put some more effort into it. And personally, I love Silph even more than Go Battle League because I think there's a lot more strategy and skill involved. So if you could drop a like for this video, I'd really appreciate it, just because it takes some more effort to put in. And with that said, let's get into these battles. This is the Sorcerer Cup. I will start the battles right now. And we're going up against Kikuna in the first one. So this first round went pretty well for me. I switched right away into Toxicroak against his Munchlax, and the reason is he's not running a Confusion user. So he does have a Noctowl on his team, but he doesn't have anything that will like really punish my Toxicroak. So that's essentially what made me pretty dominant in this first match, is that he didn't have a great response for my Toxicroak. Toxicroak, especially with an energy advantage, can beat pretty much his whole team. So he was a little late on the switch as well, which allowed my Toxicroak to get the energy advantage. And now Sludge Bomb is going to hit for a ton of damage against this Azu. I think it will probably KO from this range. See a message there. So we are able to take back switch advantage, which is huge. They come in with Medicham. I am actually going to switch into my Azu because what did they reveal they had first? A Munchlax. Right? Was it? Yeah, it was a Munchlax. So even if they switch, like Azu can still handle Munchlax, and my Bronzong in the back can handle the Medicham. So in that situation, because I knew what he had in back, it was okay to switch and give up switch priority. Bulldoze coming in. I think Body Slam is the way to go if you're using Munchlax, unless you're in a situation where Body Slam would be resisted or Bulldoze would be super effective. Body Slam is always the way to go. It's the more energy efficient move. I think I was trying to like an unnecessary sack spot, or maybe just trying to get an extra counter in or something. But anyway, we're in a good position here. Bronzong can Confusion down and we take the first game. And once again, if you're not familiar with how Silph works, it's a tournament style. And no matter how many rounds there are, in this tournament there's 4 rounds. You play all 4 rounds no matter what, and whoever has the most wins the tournament. Usually it's impossible for there to be multiple people go undefeated within a Silph tournament. So we're going into game 2. It's best of 3 games. So whoever wins 2 out of 3 at least will go on to the next round. But you play 3 no matter what, and the reason for that is Silph has this ranking system where you gain levels, gain tiers, and if you win 1 game out of 3, that won't negatively affect your score in the same way that winning 2 out of 3 or losing all 3 would, if that makes sense. So we had a good lead, Azu versus Noctowl. I actually called that lead. I thought he was going to go into Noctowl. And he switches into Tentacruel, which is a mistake because now I can literally just completely Confusion down this Tentacruel. He goes for Acid Spray. I would have probably gone for Hydro Pump if I was him, just because I'll either have to commit a shield or it will do a ton of damage. And now my Bronzong has been like quadruple debuffed by these Acid Sprays, but I'm able to get these Psyshocks off. I'm gonna let it go, I think. Oh no, actually what I do, because I still am so healthy, I commit a shield and switch out, and that way my Bronzong is still useful to me later on. And I knew I got the Tentacruel out of the way, which allowed me to do that because Tentacruel completely walls Azu, but nothing else on his team really walls Azu, except for Alolan Sandslash because I'm not running Hydro Pump. But yeah, so because I didn't think he would be running Alolan Sandslash since he didn't in the first game, and since we got Tentacruel out of the way, that game was pretty decisive. I don't think we even had to use our third Pokemon, so GG in game 2. Kikuna was funny. He messaged me in the chat saying like, Rise, I was trying to, I really wanted to match up Tentacruel with Azu, but you kept being mean and not letting me do that. Yeah, sorry. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Because of that water poison typing of Tentacruel, it just completely walls Azu, so that's a matchup you really want to avoid. And I think the same thing might happen here. Yeah, he switches into Tentacruel. And yep, I just switch into Bronzong, so same situation. And I'm just gonna Confusion all the way down. And I was even quicker on this one. So I'm not sure if he even gets to yeah, he probably gets to a second Acid Spray. Oh no, he doesn't. He just barely doesn't get to another Acid Spray. Munchlax comes in. I'm just gonna do as much damage as possible. And I think I have my Toxicroak in the back still. So we're already in a very strong situation. He double shields, so we have a double shield advantage. Because we've been debuffed, our defense, these licks do a ton of damage. I was debating going into Azu to absorb, because he had a lot of energy stored up. But I decided just to go into Toxie, and this way I can just use my shields and counter all the way down, and we actually get a charge move off here, which will get Munchlax pretty low. And he doesn't even get to a second charge move, so I think coming with Toxie was fine. Yeah, Noctowl definitely has the advantage in this matchup because flying is super effective against fighting, but because Noctowl is part normal, those counters will really add up and do heavy hitting neutral damage. Most people run Nightshade and Sky Attack on their Noctowl, so nothing will do a ton of damage against Azu. We don't really need to shield. Some people, will run Psychic though on their Noctowl, so you have to be conscious of that. And with that, we take 3 games and we win round 1. GG's to Kikuna. Next round is here against Mikey, and he's running some interesting lineup. An interesting lineup with Clefable in there. Mikey is a really good battler. Him and I are like very even. We have very even matches every time we play each other. I think it depends like who you play. Like there are some high level elites that I usually beat, and there are some people that are lower ranked than me that I really struggle with. So I think it depends on like the strategy and the mindset a lot in these battles. We came in with the Bronzong against the Clefable, take that matchup. I was zoning off and I didn't even I forgot what our lead Pokemon were. Medicham counters us down. We're probably gonna come in with Azu. Nothing Medicham throws at us is gonna do all that much. Psychic will definitely chip away. But these counters are resisted, and its second move is probably either Ice Punch or Power Up Punch, and both of those will be resisted. We go for an Ice Beam. I don't like revealing that I have Ice Beam, but I do it anyway because it's less energy to expend. I do commit a shield because I want to retain switch advantage. He then switches into Frostlass. So I go for this Play Rough. This will do some heavy hitting neutral damage. And I'm at another Play Rough. Do I shield here? I do. Yeah, and it's annoying having to shield an Avalanche because that would be resisted. I go for an Ice Beam, which is a nice shield bait, and I switch right away, hoping to get a Mud Bomb off. And we do just barely get this Mud Bomb off before we're hit with an Avalanche, so that's huge. And then Medicham comes in and we can just counter down. So we take game 1. That looked pretty convincing, but don't be fooled. We just had some good matchups and had a few things go our way, but this ends up being a super close set of 3. Let's see if we want to make any changes going into the next one. Yeah, and this is why I love Silph, is the strategy of like what 3 are you gonna run, trying to trick your opponent. So it looks like I'm switching out Toxicroak for Skuntank. Skuntank will be able to hit Clefable with some heavy poison jab. Oh, it looks like I changed my mind. So I think I'm going with the same 3, just a different order now. Bronzong versus Noctowl. This is pretty good for Bronzong. We do have to be careful of Nightshade. That will hit for super effective. But Bronzong will resist these wing attacks. That's the fast move, right? Wing attack by Noctowl. And so yeah, we're gonna shield the Nightshade because this will take out like a little over half health, I think. And do I go for the Psyshock? See, I might have made a mistake there. I might have been able to get that Psyshock off before this Nightshade, but I didn't want to risk a CMP tie. And then, debatably, I probably should have saved my energy until later on, but I don't. I come in here with Azu. He's gonna hit us with a Psychic, most likely. Yep, Psychic really chips away, and he has a shield advantage, so we're actually not in all that great of a situation. Ice Beam coming in, gets the first shield. And what do we decide to do here? Wow, we're not gonna shield. Okay, interesting play. Maybe I thought I could have got to an Ice Beam, but that wasn't even close, so. And then Clefable comes in, and this is not good for Toxicroak. I go for the Sludge Bomb because I don't think I can get to a Mud Bomb and a Sludge Bomb. I might have been able to get to 2 Mud Bombs, but that still wouldn't have taken out Clefable. Psyshock comes in, but it is not quite enough. And then Charge Move coming in, we're gonna shield. We might just barely be able to counter down and survive. Yeah, with like minimal HP and just like one fast move. Yeah, one fast move from Noctowl takes out our Toxicroak. So Mikey takes game 2 pretty convincingly. So now it's all coming down to game 3, and this is like a really epic game 3. So if you're focusing on your snack or something, make sure you tune in for this one, because this game 3 is pretty epic. So now we're switching in Skunk Tank because Clefable did so much work that match. I'm expecting a Clefable lead. So let's see if we're able to catch a Clefable lead. Because nothing on our team is great against Clefable. It is a Clefable lead. So we called the lead correctly. And like, even though these poison jabs deal super effective, it's still not even like the best matchup. But I should be able to come out of this at least with a shield advantage, because he's gonna shield this Sludge Bomb for sure. And I'm just gonna do as much as I can with these poison jabs. And now I can come in with Bronzong, and nothing Clefable throws at Bronzong is gonna do very much damage. And I think he actually hit the, he hit the Psychic instead of the Meteor Match. And Psychic is double resisted. So we actually come out of that with a shield advantage. And again, like nothing on his team will like completely wall Bronzong or Azu. So that was kind of my thought process, is I was thinking I could get a shield in that first matchup, and then nothing will wall here. And I make a huge call here. Oh no, I don't. Okay, yeah, I do shield it correctly. I shield the Shadow Ball. And this one came really fast. Do I decide to shield this? I do, okay. I correctly shield 2 Shadow Balls, which is huge. I overfarm. He switches and catches this charge move. That's perfectly okay, because this Play Rough will deal super effective. And then this is questionable decision making by me, as I get a little greedy over farming, and I sort of eat this Psychic unnecessarily. So this might have been like a dumb play by me. And Frostlass comes in, and I'm able to, again, I don't know if this was smart or not. I eat a Shadow Ball. Frostlass gets some energy, but I have a Ice Beam stored up on my Azu. So yeah, I basically sacked my entire Bronzong just to make sure I got off a charge move with Azu. It was only at an Avalanche, and Azu could have survived an Avalanche anyway. But great game 3 there to Mikey. Epic stuff. Awesome games as always, Mikey. And now we're going against Ello Man. I'm not sure. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. Or Ello Man. But he reached out, he messaged me, and he said he was a follower of the channel, a fan of the channel, so I really appreciate that. If any of you want to come battle against me, make sure to join Osmo, the server in the description. We have a lot of fun over there, tournaments all the time. And yeah, so this opening matchup, Munchlax versus Wigglytuff, we're just going for these body slams. I think I might shield here. No, I decided just to let Munchlax go. Okay. And who do I come in with? I come in with Bronzong. And they come in with Hypno. Okay. We kind of have to switch there, unfortunately. And now we're in a really bad spot because our Bronzong kind of gets walled by Hypno. We're going to be dealing not very effective damage, and Shadow Ball will hit us for a ton of damage. These Mud Bombs are going to deal super effective, so we have to shield them. And Skuntank is kind of our only hope against Hypno. I decided to let it go at this point, and this shows you how important switch advantage and matchups are. If I'd committed a shield in that first matchup with Munchlax and got switch advantage, I likely would have been able to win this match because Bronzong just wiped the floor with Toxicroak, and Skuntank also is a great counter to Hypno. And at this point, this game is pretty much sealed because it'll take me like multiple charge moves. It'll probably take me 2 bulldozes to get Hypno out of here, and he still has a shield. And he gets to this Shadow Ball first anyway, and this might be enough to KO from this range. Yep, it's enough to KO. So, Ello, man, he take game 1 super convincingly, and he had just sent me a message like, hey man, like awesome to battle you, big fan of the channel. And I'm like, oh, thanks, man, appreciate it. And then he wipes the floor with me. What's up with that? I'm just kidding. I don't want you guys taking it easy on me at all if we match up in a tournament. So I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, I just got wiped the floor with game 1. Let's try and make some changes. I'm bringing in Azu. Azu, a great pick as always. Nothing on his team like really destroys Azu. Skuntank is a pretty good counter, so I'm just hoping he doesn't lead Skuntank, but everything else Azu should be able to hang with pretty well. And it's a Frostlass. Okay. So this is a pretty decent matchup for Azu. We just have to be careful of the Shadow Ball. And this charge move came really quick, so I don't shield, and it is an Avalanche. I don't know if he was at a Shadow Ball, but to me it seemed like it was really quick, so I didn't shield. Maybe I got lucky, maybe I did call that right, I'm not sure. Yeah, and at this point we can eat. Oh no, at this point I do shield because I know there's no point in baiting when he's this low. So then I do shield, so our Azumarill is still healthy and we have a lot of energy. And we get switch advantage. Now he comes in with Skuntank. Skuntank, no K in there like a skunk, I don't think. We go Ice Beam. And now he's switching into Tox. Okay, we're gonna go for Play Rough. This will do a ton of damage if it goes unshielded. And it does. And honestly, I should have saved that Play Rough and I should have just gone into Bronzong. And that would have made this game probably a lot cleaner. But I wasted that energy that was really unnecessary. And here I'm gonna go for a Bulldoze. This will do super effective damage if it goes through. He shields correctly, huge shield by him. At this point we can let our Bronzong go. And now we have our own Skuntank and an Azu. So I think what I do here is, yeah, I just come in with my own Skuntank. And because we have a shield and this is like an even matchup, we're gonna be able to take this. He is running Flamethrower though, and that's good that I know that now to be weary of that in the mirror match. Now we go for Crunch, and it's enough to take out Skuntank. Good games. So once again, we're in the semifinals here, and we're all tied up at 1 game apiece. It all comes down to game 3. Who's going to take it? And again, this is an epic game 3. Maybe this was the one I was thinking of actually. That's like super epic. Okay. What is Chris? What is Rise thinking in the moment? Azu, Skuntank. and Bronzong. There's so much mind games that go into this, because if you have like a really good game, it's like, okay, obviously my opponent is going to change what he's going to do, or maybe he's not and he's expecting me to change, so I'm not going to change. Or maybe he thinks that I think he's not going to change, so I will change. It's just like so much psychology involved. And we lock in, waiting on Ello Man, and here we go. Decisive game 3. Azu versus Hypno. Not a great matchup for Azu. Hypno should win this. I go for the play rough first, expecting no shield. I'm expecting a Thunder Punch from Hypno. It is a Thunder Punch. It deals super effective, but Thunder Punch is a kind of weak move, so it doesn't do all that much. Play rough really chips away. And now I'm expecting him to shield this next one. I commit a shield here, so I can get to this charge move. And I'm expecting him to shield, and I overfarm. And I go for the Ice Beam, because at this range, Ice Beam would be enough to KO. And he actually lets his Hypno go. So that's great. I'm just going to try and get to a charge move, whatever this is. It's a Wigglytuff. So we go for this play rough. This will do a decent amount of damage. Takes out like half health. I don't know why I was trying to swip there. That would have been really dumb. And I go into Skunk Tank. And the reason I go into Skunk Tank is because I thought maybe he had his Toxicroak in back. But he didn't. And now he switches into his own Skunk Tank. And this is good because my Bronzong now gets to avoid this Skunk Tank. And my Bronzong should take out the Wigglytuff handedly. But he does have a health advantage right now on the Skunk Tank. So we have to be wary of that. I don't know why I was trying to swap there, because you don't want to catch a crunch with Bronzong. Oh my god, this is super risky. This crunch is going to do a ton of damage. How is this going to play out? In this situation, he switches to Wiggly, we get a few confusion off, and we just fully commit to confusioning down. And that is a great example of knowing when to not use a charge move. Because if we had used our charge moves in that situation, oh my goodness, they probably would have got to their own charge move and taken us out. Know when to not use a charge move. And that puts us in the championship, which already started. So we get a great lead against Carlos Wessling. Toxicroak versus Muck. And honestly, Bronzong is the only thing on his team that really punishes Toxicroak, so I thought Toxicroak was a pretty safe lead. He makes a nice switch to catch that Mud Bomb with Azu, but we have our Skunk Tank, which will do really well against Azu. We're going straight for this Sludge Bomb. This will KO. Boom. Maybe he thought we were going to bait with a crunch, but it costed him. Now he comes in with his own Toxicroak, and this Toxicroak will beat our Skunk Tank pretty easily. But that's all right. We're just going to do as much damage as we can. And because Toxicroak is pretty glassy, these crunches will actually chip away even though they're resisted. Come in with Bronzong. I'm going to shield a Mud Bomb because I have the shields to use, and Mud Bomb will do a lot. And now we're in a pretty good situation. Muck is going to destroy our Bronzong, but that's okay. And I think this Muck is actually running Poison Jab. So it's going to take longer for Muck to generate energy. And we decide to shield and then just counter down with our Toxicroak. So good games there in game 1. Pretty comfortable win against Carlos. And yeah, Poison Jab is interesting. It'll be great against Azu. It'll do a lot of damage. But against Bronzong, it's going to take you longer to get to those Dark Pulses. And it's going to be heavily resisted by that steel typing of Bronzong. So Alolan Muck with Snarl kind of destroys Bronzong because it's going to outpace it to those Dark Pulses. But Alolan Muck with Poison Jab, well, Bronzong actually has a little bit of play and it can actually be semi-close. I think Alolan Muck definitely still has the advantage, but it makes it a lot closer. Okay, we're in the mirror match here in game 2. Toxicroak versus Toxicroak. This really comes down to whoever wins CMP tie, whoever has the higher attack stat amongst these. Mud Bomb will do a ton of damage since Toxicroak is so glassy and it's weak to ground. So we're both gonna shield, and he realizes he loses CMP, so he switches and he comes in with Bronzong. I was a little late. I ate the confusion, at least one, maybe two from that Bronzong. Now I go into Skunk Tank. I do shield in case it's a Bulldoze, and it is a Bulldoze, so good use of a shield. Now we're gonna commit to just completely poison jabbing down, and now we have a lot of energy for whatever comes in. It's the Toxicroak. We're gonna try and get a shield with this Crunch possibly. They might think that we're going for a Flamethrower, but they don't know that we don't have the Flamethrower. And now we're gonna go for a Sludge Bomb. This is also going to be resisted. Actually, oh, this might be double resisted, so that might have been a mistake on my part. But we then just get one Confusion in to take out Tox nonetheless. And now we are in a decent situation. We can't eat a Shadow Ball, but because these Confusions and Psyshock really chip away, and then we have some fast moves with our remaining Pokemon, we should be okay. But it's actually going to be close, because both of our Pokemon in back don't have a ton of health. What do I decide to do? I come in with Skunk Tank, get in a few Poison Jabs, and then a few counters with Toxicroak, take out Frostlass. So with that win, we take game 2, and we won the championship. So GG's to Carlos, GG's to everyone, but we're still playing game 3 no matter what, because of the sportsmanship and the way Silph works. So let's see if we can sweep the championship round in game 3. When I win 2 in a row, I like to switch up my team and just experiment with Pokemon. And I don't think we used Lanoon this entire tournament. So I'm probably gonna swap out Lanoon with something else. But I'm like, I didn't use Lanoon at all. I'm gonna swap. And of course, we're met with a Toxicroak, its worst matchup. So we're gonna swap right away into Azu. And he's not switching, which is interesting. And he has an energy advantage, which isn't great. Sludge Bomb is gonna hit for a lot, of course. Then he switches into his own Azu, which tells me he probably doesn't have Skunk Tank or Alolan Muck in this lineup. We're gonna see if we can do anything to win switch advantage back, but it might be tough because we're at a health disadvantage and a shield disadvantage. We're just gonna go straight play rough. And one thing I am aware of, well, now the switch clock is up actually, but I know that we do have a bit of a head start on the switch clock since he used the charge move after we switched. We're going for another play rough. I expect him to probably shield this and then just bubble down to retain switch advantage. That's what Carlos does. And what are we gonna come in with? We're gonna come with Lanoon to get energy, and he makes a mistake. And I think this honestly might have cost Carlos the game because he didn't need to switch there. And this allows us to just womp that Toxicroak with our Bronzong. We're gonna use a Psyshock just in case they're able to get to a Hydro Pump. We don't want to eat a Hydro Pump. And now they have their own Bronzong. So we're gonna be able to get to a Bulldoze, and he actually goes for Psyshock here. We don't shield, and we actually survive and get to a Bulldoze. Psyshock is double resisted because of that Steel and Psychic typing, kind of like Metagross. And then we're gonna switch to a Linoon, and we have a shield in case. So we're gonna use our shield, and then we're just gonna commit to completely Shadow Clawing down. No need to use a charge move. And with that, we beat Carlos 3-0 in the championship, GG's, and we take the tournament. So with that said, I encourage you guys to all do Silph tournaments. I'd love to see that community grow. Once again, for me, it's more fun than Go Battle League. Because I think when you can see what your opponent's team of 6 is, there's a lot more strategy and game planning involved versus just going into blind Go Battle League matches. As much as I like Go Battle League, I think it's awesome, and I want to really get to rank 10 this season. I think Silph is even more fun and even more competitive when you have that tournament bracket style. Okay, thank you all for watching. If you made it this far, let me know in the comments. That's awesome. It's a long video, And I don't expect this one to get as many views, but I love Silph, and I'd love to see that community grow, so I'm making it anyway. And yeah, I appreciate you guys. We've hit 1,500 subscribers, which is awesome, as I'm making this video today. And with that said, thank you all for watching. I appreciate all the support, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.